Good afternoon, fans. Welcome inside the MCLA TV studio. I'm your host, Assistant Athletic Director Jeff Polari, here today with special guest, men's soccer head coach Adam Hildabrand. Coach, how are you today?
Hey, Jeff. Happy to see you.
Good to see you here. Let's quickly just take a look back. Saturday, final regular season game in the conference for hosting Framingham State. Lost a tough one, 1-0, gave up a goal in the 82nd minute. Just talk about the game from your vantage point on the bench.
Yeah, it's a perfect example of how unfair the game can be in soccer. We dominated early on, and I think when you don't take your chances in the game of soccer, it could bite you in the butt later on. It's exactly what happened. We had plenty of opportunities in the first half. Could have been up 3-0 at halftime. And then in the second half, we did all right, not as well as the first half, and really gave up one chance where they got behind our defense. And when they got behind, they put it away. Credit to Framingham, good goal.
And Framingham was a very physical contest, a lot of fouls, a lot of cards, unfortunately. Talk about how that might play into what's going to be a playoff week where potentially you could see 3 games in 5 days.
I mean, just to quote Coach Shoecraft, former men's soccer coach, you know, every MASCAC game is a dogfight. And I think it's managing emotions. That's the key. Because all of the games are, you know, there's a lot of pressure. It's pretty physical. But, you know, it's how you manage it emotionally. And if your mindset stays the same, you should be good.
Yeah. And as I mentioned, that was the regular season finale for both teams. Let's take a look at the final MASCAC standings heading into the postseason here, and you can see the Trailblazers coming in as the 4th seed in the conference playoffs. Got Bridgewater State coming up at home. Where do you think MCLA, how do you think the regular season went in regards to standings and where you ended up?
You know, 4th seed, we were almost a 5th seed too. I don't think it reflects truly how we are as a team. I mean, I would think teams should be scared of us. We produce a lot of chances. There was only 2 games we didn't dominate statistically, Bridgewater being one, Fitchburg being the other. And, you know, I think we can produce chances, and we have to manage putting them in the back of the net. If we don't, can we just solidify our midfield and then try to win the game and grind it out?
Yeah, and as I said, we will host a quarterfinal matchup with the Bears. The other quarterfinal matchup this week will face 6th seed Fitchburg State heading to Framingham State. Worcester State earned the top seed along with Mass Maritime as the 2nd, so they earned first round byes. Talk about the balance that we saw this year in the league. It just seemed like it was the ebb and flow every week. Somebody had a different chance to kind of take control, and just talk about your feelings and reflect on that.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, to credit Mass Maritime and Worcester, they do what they do well, and they do it consistently. So therefore, they got the results and got the top 1 or 2 seeds. But every MASCAC game, I think there was only maybe 1 game where it was more than 1 goal difference. And anybody can win on the day. I mean, Westfield got knocked out. Westfield's a pretty good team. They're good enough to be in the playoffs, but they're not. And so that's credit to the MASCAC in men's soccer. From top to bottom, the bottom team can beat the top team and vice versa. And it makes it exciting for the fans, gives coaches almost heart attacks watching from the bench.
Yeah. And as I've already mentioned, we got Bridgewater State coming up tomorrow night at Shoecraft Field. But we played the Bears what seemed like an eternity ago.
Yeah.
It was the conference opener for both teams back on September 17th. Talk about that. It was a 1-0 victory. Eddie Boateng got the lone goal. Bridgewater State did hold a decent shot advantage, especially in the second half. Just bring us back to that game and recollect what you saw as a head coach and coming out on top with the victory. Yeah,
I mean, that was the first game in the MASCAC for us. We scored a goal midway or almost 3/4 of the way through the first half. I think Bridgewater returning as MASCAC champs and us scoring early kind of dictated the game from that point. My guys sort of got stuck in a shell where we dropped in, and we almost didn't attack as much as we should have. We almost were happy with the 1-0 lead. And you know, I'm hoping for this time to produce more chances and to control more of the play. But yeah, that happens in soccer. You get a goal early, sometimes you're on your heels late in the game, and a lot of those shots could be from distance. As long as we keep them in front of us, we'll be happy.
Yeah. And heading into Tuesday, you've been getting some pretty powerful performances of late. It seems like the team is pretty healthy. Yeah. Anthony Basile had himself quite a week, the final week of the regular season, tallied 4 goals, had numerous chances. I believe he hit the post twice against Framingham State. Yeah. Just talk a little bit about Anthony in terms of what he brings to the table heading into this matchup with Bridgewater.
Yeah, the key for Anthony is getting open and getting the ball. So if we can get him the ball and get him service, he can be dangerous. Anthony's not dangerous when he doesn't get the ball. You know, if the ball's at his feet, no matter where he is in the field, he can take his opponent on and get a chance chance. He also does a lot of dirty work this year, so the camera doesn't always pick up on that because it's away from the ball. A lot of back pressing, working with the shape in midfield, and I think Anthony is a more complete player than he has been in the past, and it's reflected now late in the season with those goals.
Another playmaker that you have, we already mentioned him, Eddie Boateng, playing a lot in the midfield. More of a distributor than necessarily a goal scorer, but he has had some pretty good performances. What are the expectations and what do you need out of Eddie against the Bears tomorrow night?
You know, Eddie's an artist. You know, the expectation is that he's on the ball, that he works hard to get open, but also he has responsibilities on the other side of the ball. And so to shut down the holding mid or the holding mids for Bridgewater will be defensive responsibilities. And then offense getting open. And when, you know, if Anthony Basile and Dylan Pereira are on the field, that's going to leave space for Eddie Boateng. So if he can exploit that space and make good decisions.
So that's the offensive side. Let's just flip the switch to the defensive side. Cameron Anderson has some real bright times this year, come up with some key shutouts for you. What does he need to do tomorrow, along with your entire defensive back line, to keep Bridgewater off the board?
He needs to look at the body of his work from the whole season. You know, he's had a great season, and he needs to build confidence from that. I know it hurt him, that late goal against Framingham emotionally, and it hurt the team a little bit, but I think he needs to get over it, bounce back, and if he's confident, and he had a great end of the season last year and had some key saves, and I'm hopeful of the same tomorrow against Bridgewater State.
So when we played Bridgewater earlier, it was on the road down in Bridgewater. Trailblazer fans probably weren't able to be very familiar with Bridgewater State. Give us a few players from the Bears that you have your eyes on that you think we have to stop or at least slow down tomorrow to be successful.
Well, absolutely. Felipe Lopez, front runner, number 10. He, you know, similar to like our Eddie Boateng, he's quick, he's evasive on the dribble, can make things happen out of nothing. Kane Moran in central midfield, also a great player. I'm sure they'll both be all MASCAC selections. And you know, Brendan Adams, the coach of Bridgewater, does a good job. I don't think it's the individuals for Bridgewater. They know how to grind out results and work hard, and they're a pretty good team.
Yeah. So it happened well over 7 weeks ago, that last matchup. I'm sure a lot of things have changed on both sides, not only for MCLA but for Bridgewater. What do the Trailblazers need to do tomorrow if there's one thing we need to focus on to come out on top?
Well, we're looking at our offensive transition. You know, when we win the ball, can we pass out instead of just booting it out and hoping for the best? And once we pass it out, can we get a good shape to open up and expose their defense? And I don't want to give too much away just in case Bridgewater watches this.
And there you have it, fans. And the winner of tomorrow's matchup will move on to face top-seeded Worcester State on Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock in the MASCAC semifinals. Coach Hildabrand, thank you for joining us today. Wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, Jeff.
And Trailblazer fans, for everything athletics, results, recaps from tomorrow's matchup, please log on to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm your host, Jeff Polari. Thanks, and have a great afternoon.